Hey, what's up, you guys? David here, and I am back to you once again with another concert review. I've decided to go ahead and record two of these. I know I just put out a video yesterday, but these concert reviews, I usually keep them pretty short. They're not too long. And, it had been a month since my last video, so I wanted to go ahead and give you guys at least two short ones until I get to do another, collection update and show some more music and stuff. Which I'm starting to have a lot more stuff come in that I'm able to talk about now, so I'll be uploading another collection video very shortly. But let's go ahead and talk about another show that I saw. This was the following week, actually, this week. This was Monday at a club called Diamonds Pub and Billiards. This is a venue that is in my hometown. I've been to, this is probably the venue where I've seen the majority of my shows. The first one that I ever saw, which remains one of my favorite shows to this day, was Warbringer, Overkill, and Creator. That was, Creator's one of my all-time favorite bands, so it was just, amazing for me to finally get to see them. Excuse me. Amazing for me to finally get to see them, and I hope it's not the last time, although Creator has not come back to my hometown since then, sadly. But anyway, let's get on to this show. So I went to go see Astronoid, Tesseract, and Between the Buried and Me. Mainly I was going for Between the Buried and Me, but I do enjoy the other two bands. My dad, once again, decided to tag along with me for the shows. We love going to shows together because we do enjoy a lot of the same music and stuff. It's always fun to hang out. Even though Dad did not know a whole lot about these bands, once again, it wasn't really his cup of tea. But he did end up enjoying, 2 out of 3 bands. But so let's get on with the bands. The first band to go on was Astronoid. Astronoid is a band that has been getting a lot of buzz lately. A lot of people have just really been, they've just been getting a lot of praise, especially ever since they put out their album Air back in 2016. And, of course, this is another one of those kind of dividing line bands, or just one of those, either love it or hate it. You're into it or you're not. But Astronoid is a band that I've been getting a lot more into. I was very impressed with the record that they put out this year. They're self-titled, just called Astronoid. I've been listening to it a lot, especially after I got done seeing the show. I guess you could say after I saw them live at the show, I became an even bigger fan. Astronoid were fucking great. They played great. They sounded great. The drummer in particular, his kit just really stood out. Like, it was really, really powerful sounding, and They really capture that beautiful atmospheric, sound live very, very well. The guitar work was great. Whenever they did solos, they were very clear, and there was no sound issues. Unlike this last show that I just got done talking to you about with the last video, there were no sound issues this night. Not to my ears, anyway. I did not hear any of these bands. Every note that they played, I heard it. Nothing seemed to be buried in the mix. Nothing seems like it was turned down too low or turned up too high. Everything was perfectly clear and audible. And, Astronoid did fantastic. Like I said, they were great. Really enjoyed it. And my dad also really enjoyed them, which I was very surprised by because, once again, I thought maybe the vocals were going to be a little too sugary, too soft-spoken for his taste, but I think more than anything, what he really appreciated was the musicianship, because Astronoid, they had that shoegaze, that shoegaze thing in there, the post-metal and the indie rock kind of thing, but I really do hear a very proggy instrumentation within Astronoid, and I think they really brought that live as well. So yeah, Astronoid were fucking great. A killer opener. I actually wish I would have got to play a little bit of a longer set, because I think it was only maybe about 35 to 40 minutes, maybe something like that. And every song that they played, it was all from the new album, the self-titled that came out this year. So yeah, Astronoid, great. So next we move on to Tesseract. Now, Tesseract, while I do think they played great overall and they sounded pretty good, Tesseract, unfortunately, is a band that over the years I've started to like them a little bit less just because of these last couple albums they've just gotten more kind of mainstream sounding, a little less metal sounding, and just and the other thing is I was always a bigger fan of Tesseract when they were just doing instrumental stuff. Because I just felt like it worked so good with their sound. I've talked to you guys before about how I feel about progressive metal being instrumental. There's just something about it where I feel like it works really, really well. And that's what I prefer, with Tesseract. But like I said, they did play a good set. They sounded good. They played fine. But just overall, Daniel Tompkins, his vocals, he's a great singer. And, obviously he brings in so many different influences. He's definitely not just a metal singer. Actually, it's hard to really say if he is a metal singer. He's almost kind of like a pop rock kind of singer singing for a metal band. But he fits their music, I guess. But just overall, I'm just not a big fan of his voice overall. And like I said, I prefer them as an instrumental band. Some Tesseract fans may call me or call that fucking blasphemy. Sorry, don't care. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Yeah. And the other thing is, like I said, I started to dislike them dislike them less when they put out these last two records. And unfortunately, that's where most of the set list came from, was from Polaris and Sonder, their latest two albums. They did play a couple of the Concealing Fate tracks from their debut one, which I thought was really cool. But again, the vocals, it just would have sounded better instrumental to me. My dad's opinion, my dad did not like Tesseract at all. More so for him, I think the vocals killed it even more for him. And he even said, they're great musicians, they play great, but overall he just, wasn't really feeling it. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Tesseract's performance. So I guess you could say Tesseract was a little bit of a letdown for me, just because, of the vocalist and them playing too much of their newer material. So that's Tesseract. Now, we go into the main act, Between the Buried and Me. This is the band I was there mainly to see. I've heard so many good things about Between the Buried and Me live. I've heard there's no such thing as a disappointing Between the Buried and Me show. And that's definitely what I got. Between the Buried and Me was pretty much everything I expected and then some. The musicianship, they pulled it off flawlessly live. Every single part was played with just, perfection and just also a lot of energy too. They, it wasn't just like they were just robots, just playing all this crazy technical stuff. No, they got into it. They were really jamming out, having a good time. You could tell it was a good vibe. It was a good energy from them. And Tommy's vocals, I felt, really standed out very well live. And I did not know that he played keyboards while singing live. That's really, really fucking cool. He did an excellent, excellent job on that. As far as the set list from Between the Buried and Me, it was very mixed. They did not do anything off Colors, which was slightly disappointing for me. They did do track off The Great Misdirect, which The Great Misdirect is actually my favorite album from Between the Buried and Me. Colors and one other one is pretty close, but yeah, I would say overall for me it's The Great Misdirect. So they played one track from that. There were, of course, a lot of tracks from their double concept album that they put out last year, Automata. They played a lot of Automata stuff. But just the riffs sounded killer, and the one thing I was kind of worried about with Between the Buried and Me was, well, disclaimer, I'm not a mosh person. I don't get into the moshing thing. I will headbang my ass off at a metal show. That's more what I'm about, and I'll scream and raise the horns and everything, but I'm not a mosh guy. And I was kind of a little worried about how the crowd was going to be at the Between the Buried and Me show, because I know the crowd go fucking nuts for Between the Buried and Me, and they attract the hardcore crowd. So I really thought that the mosh pit was going to get really, really aggressive and kind of a little out of hand. But it actually didn't. It was actually very controlled. They were very respectful, and it really didn't get that crazy like I thought it was going to. So that was nice. So I got to enjoy the show without any worries or without having to be worried about being pushed by somebody or fucking hit by somebody. So that's always nice when you don't have to deal with that at a show. But yeah, Between the Bear to me were fucking awesome. Like I said, the playing was great, the performance was great. Amazing musicians. If you're a fan of those guys and you never got to see them live, I certainly hope you get to do so someday, because they will not disappoint. I can definitely tell you that. Fucking awesome. Between the Bear to me, in my opinion, one of the best modern progressive metal bands going right now, and yeah, loved it. So, is there anything else to add? Because I did not get any merch from that show. Everything they had that night was a little out of my price range. Because I only brought a little bit of cash on me. So unfortunately, I did not get any merch from the show. But yeah, I guess that's really all I got to say. Overall, this is a great show. Like I said, Tesseract being my least favorite performance, Astronoid being my second favorite, and Between the Bear to me fucking basically, stealing the show. So yeah. That is it for this concert review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for continuing to subscribe, like, comment, all that cool shit. Very much appreciated. And I will see you guys very soon. Like I said, in a collection update very soon. I have a lot of shit that has come in, a lot of cool shit to talk about, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So have a good one. See you later.